Hello Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for Eden Zero, chapter 202. When we last left our heroes, Rebecca, after a moment of sort of waffling off of Planet Eater thanks to the fact that it would erase all the mothers from existence, she decides to go through with it to save the ones that she can, but the Planet Eater still needs to happen, despite the fact that it seems very much doomed to not work, thanks to Ziggy knowing about it, but okay. Meanwhile, back in the Crow fight, things are starting to shape up all right, mostly. The little minions are gone, and though it initially seems like Crow would be able to absorb any attack, Holy reveals that if they blast the full ether cannon at his core, that should kill Crow. And so Holy uses her ether gear melt to melt a little hole in Crow so they can blast him, but Crow sucks Holy up into that core. Holy wants them to just kill her along with Crow. Hermit refuses, and then we got to 20,000 years later. We find out that humans are extinct, and robot kind has a base on planet Eden, which seems very, very significant. So let's dive right on into Eden Zero, chapter 202, Unmasked. And our picture here is of Shiki using his ether gear to walk on a skyscraper. We pick up where we left off with the gang staring down Crow. Hermit reports, the Steel Sorceress' signal. I've lost it. We've also lost contact with Holy. And Clean reacts, what do we do? Connor is also thinking more defensively here. Evade! Releasing charge on Starbringer. Switching to evasive maneuvers. So it does sort of seem like the hole is gone in Crow. So, they've lost their chance to kill him anyway. So, things aren't really going well for them. But as they sort of try to get away from him, Crow just grins, you won't get away. And there's some sort of transformation going on here. I'm not quite sure what it is exactly. Laguna reacts, whoa, what the? I'm picking up a spike in ether values. And we see I can't put into words what I'm looking at. There's little ripplings going on all over his body or something. I don't know. But Hermit corrects, no, he's overdriving, but at that size, and he's moving super fast. I still don't have the words for him. I can't describe what he looks like. Stone? Like a golem sort of thing? I don't know. But he also has gained these sort of things on his, right next to his eyes. They're horns. That is a little reminiscent of the logo of the series, which is interesting. But he just moves so fast at that giant size. Not possible. How be he so fast? And Sister notes as Hermit comes on the intercom, all hands, brace for impact. Open shields to 100%. And they try to shield desperately against Crow's attack. And Crow just slams them, shields and all. Hermit braces. Connor's knocked out of his seat. Couchpo, Moscow, and Labilia hit the wall. The whole ship with the shields hits the ground. Which, normally, you think things would, bounce off of his shields, like laser attacks. But no, he slammed the entire fucking shield unit into the ground. Also doing some damage to the ship, even with the shield. But then we cut to the Shiki Ziggy fight, where they're still staring each other down. Last we saw of them was Ziggy's weird little line about one who exists outside the wheel of time. So they've just been chilling for a couple chapters. And Ziggy, summons up some stones and gathers them to him and throws them all at Shiki. And Shiki holds out his hands and sort of has his own gravity come in, and the two gravities together crush the stones, I think. But Ziggy is able to wormhole right behind Shiki and throws a punch and knocks Shiki out of the air into a tower. He goes rolling through it, and Ziggy once again warps to him. But Shiki is ready for him this time and lands an uppercut on Ziggy. This is just some high quality action here. And he cracks Ziggy's face. And, there seems to be a human face beneath Ziggy's mask. That might be a little quiet, so I'll say it again. There seems to be a human face beneath Ziggy's mask. We see its mouth sort of grimacing, and its hair. I might be a little tainted by the sort of evil Shiki theories I've been seeing for Ziggy, but that might be an evil, android Shiki. Whatever it is, knocks Shiki out of his ether, or is midway through knocking him out of his ether gear, as his left eye comes back and the ether lines snap. What? And then we cut from there. We don't see what else is going on there. Despite the fact the title Unmasked seems to be hinting at whatever's going on with Ziggy. But instead we come back to Crow, or to Holy, actually, who's still inside Crow, still alive. But she's knocked out of the Steel Sorceress. But she sits up. I've lost contact with Eden Zero. And she looks around and the sort of blood vessels of machinery. Am I inside Crow? And she's a little excited about this, at this, easily able to reach, damage Crow from here. Maybe getting absorbed into him wasn't so bad after all. Now I can destroy him from the inside. And we see she's, trembling as she raises her hands. And then, she can't do anything. I can't use my ether gear. What's going on? And suddenly she's interrupted. It's an ether jammer. And we see this, human-sized version of Crow. It's a little reminiscent. I might have made this, this connection last week, or at some point. For some reason, the connection is sort of sitting in my brain already, of Alderaan and the God Seeds. For this little mini Crow. Hello, little Missy. He's also weirdly naked. Okay. I've seen worse things in the world. Dead-end Crow? How? Is that your real body? But Crow just snapped at her. Don't be stupid. Of course not. Let's just say, you're seeing a physical manifestation of my personality. And Holy is just livid and just basically at Crow's existence. But Crow then just taunts her now. So don't go getting your hopes up. You can take down the giant by defeating me. It does seem a direct call out to a couple fairy tale scenes, both Alderaan and the God Seeds, and also Acnologia in the end, who is in part taken down by Natsu beating his soul in the rift, though also with Lucy and Fairy Sphere. Anyway, she just screams and charges him. Crow! And Crow just mocks her. Hey, did you not hear what I just said? And apparently this physical manifestation of a personality can still grab her, because he with his still giant fist, grabs her whole arm. Besides, you can't use your ether gear. So now you're just a helpless little girl. And she's just glowering at him. You see the sweat on her face. And Crow seems to recognize her. Wait, that face. And as she keeps on staring, he looks at her again, and then just snaps her hand with one fist, just so casually. She screams in pain, as she obviously would at Crow there, and he questions, haven't I seen you before? And she falls to her knees, just trying to catch her breath, because, the fucking pain she's in right now. And Holy just glares. You slaughtered all those people on Atmos Day. One of them was my sister. And Crow just so casually goes check his own records. Maybe I still have data on that. And he recognizes her. Oh, those sisters. And Holy just snaps. You killed Sarah! But I let you live, didn't I? Stripped naked and hung up in the square for everyone to see. That was one of my best work. Shit, I thought, I kind of imagined that Crow's reaction to Holy would be one of those, what's the Street Fighter movie, for you it was the most important day of your life and for me it was Tuesday line. I thought that would kind of be Crow's vibe here, but no, he tortured her and made a show of her after killing her sister. I also like the sort of, I think we've seen this a couple times. The fact that, like, it doesn't feel like, I could see, for example, Holy giving us his whole backstory now that she's tied to Crow. What happened to her on Atmos Day, how her sister died, what her life was like pre-Crow. But, like, she's not doing all that to Crow right now. She hates this man. And, like, she's because he knows what happened that day, there's no need for her to say it. We just sort of have to jump on. Anyway, this is my best work. And with her non-broken hand, she charges again. Rah! But this time he grabs her by the throat and just chokes her. And Crow just mocks. You want me to do it to you again? Nah, better not. Last time, all the people complained about the smell of your dung. That's just, like, it's brutal, and, I complain at times about things like, Shora and all of the other sort of acts of just sexual violence we tend to see in this series. And there's something about this one that, like, it's, while still being terrible, doesn't feel as exploited. Like, terrible in the sense of it's terrible that it happened to her. It doesn't feel as exploitative in the way that, like, who else? In the way that what happened with Shora and Ijuna felt exploitative, in the way that the Gilst stuff, with the Liga, the Foresta stuff on occasion, the Foresta stuff ended up fairly well in the end, but, like, my initial worries of that, it's dark and gruesome and horrible, but it doesn't feel as exploitative, Anyway, she's just, like, at this point crying in utter, like, rage and maybe even a little fear, and Crow just taunts her. Nobody survives 2 fights with me. And then we see something, like, seem to cut his hand. And he just falls off. It just falls off. And somehow Laguna and Jinn are here. As Laguna taunts, I say she will. We'll make sure of it. And Jinn tells him, we take care of our ship's guests. I have no idea how they're here. It doesn't seem to make any sense, given they were still on the ship when she got, like, absorbed. But I expect we'll get an explanation for that next week. So let's just zero in on what was a really, really strong chapter. It's bookended by the Crow stuff, so I'll get back to the Crow stuff in a minute. First, though, there's the Shiki stuff. Which, like, this is the sort of thing, I know some people are a little more critical of the anime than I was. I thought the anime was really good. And the anime in particular really excelled in the direction of its more like gravity fuck moments. The way that Shiki's ether gear was, like, animated was really fucking cool all throughout the anime. And if and when the anime makes it to Kaide War, this'll be an utter trip to see in the anime. Just... it's the same thing with the Shora fight. It's the 2 gravity users going at each other can lead to some really cool, like, dynamic camera work. And then we get that really cool punch onto Ziggy, and then the cliffhanger of that storyline. Not the cliffhanger of the chapter, but, like, there is a face under Ziggy's mask, and it might be an evil Shiki. I don't know. Then there's the Crow stuff, and, like, Crow's overdrive, again, I just can't fucking describe it. What is it even, like, is it maybe, like, the way his body elongates, there's, like, a tornado quality to him. But, like, it doesn't, like, the little, like, bumps we see on his arm, it doesn't feel like like wind, that feels like stone. Like, he feels like a super fast golem. But I love the dynamicness of that punch, of him, like, bouncing the entire fucking shield there. Also, looking at page 3 again, Laguna is definitely on the ship when Holy gets absorbed. He's there earlier in the chapter. So it is still a question of where exactly he comes from. But I imagine that's a question for next week. We still get the really good Holy and Crow scene. I love the sort of, like, Holy is initially so excited to do some damage, especially because she does not know the little mini Crow is coming. Like, little mini Crow, he's still, like, twice her size, but still. And then, like, the way that turns into pure fear as this fight goes on. Fear and pain and rage. From, like, the arm break to the realization, like, the dredging up of her trauma. To, like, the genuine, is this it? When his hand is around her neck. It is gripping. It is... And it manages to do it largely without being exploitative, which has always kind of been Eden Zero's Achilles heel, is that it keeps bringing up this exploitative, you know, violent, like, exploitative presentation of what appears to be like a BDSM thing. And here, it mostly, it works, really. But now, the personality crow is missing an arm for now. He might be able to regrow it. And Jinn and Laguna are here. My boys are here. The X-Drakons are... Not all of the X-Drakons, because Clean is back on the ship, apparently. I don't know how they're here, but I'm excited for it. So all in all, a really, really strong chapter. Some dynamic action in the first half, both with the Crow fight and with the Ziggy fight. And then just, like, the fear and terror and intensity of the whole Crow Holy scene. Top-notch. And now Laguna and Jinn are here, and I can't wait to see... A, how they got here, and B, what all is going to happen now that they are. So that being said, I'm going to leave this video off here. Hope you'll enjoy the chapter and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe, or, you know, do whatever makes you happy, you know? And as always, your life is your own, okay? Bye!